Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's Tumolo Talk. This month, I'm actually going to go over college savings plans, and the reason why it comes up quite a bit when I'm in reviews. Clients have saved very well for retirement, and then they're like, "Okay, well, what do I do? Can I do things for my grandkids?" And the college savings plan actually comes up quite a bit. There's actually a big rule change this year too on leftover money, so I'll make sure I cover that too. But what they did was to start to take away some of that apprehension from starting these plans. They actually set it up so later on, if there's some money left in these plans, up to 35,000 can actually be rolled over to Roth money, to Roth accounts, I should say. This way, one of the biggest complaints, one of the biggest worries about these plans was always, oh, I put money in there. What if my kid or my grandkid doesn't go to school? But there are ways to work that. But this gives us one other avenue to empty out those accounts. So college savings plans. A lot of you might have heard of them as 529 accounts. Basically, what you're doing is it's built for education and not just for college. My youngest son actually went to auto mechanics, and so his the money we took from the 529 wasn't used for college for him. We actually used it for a trade school, so it's secondary education. The big thing with it, though, is over time, as you're putting money into these accounts, and you get the growth on these accounts, well, that's where the advantage is. That growth is not taxed, so then you can take the money from these chat accounts and pay for college and not have to pay tax on that growth. So it's a pretty good tool. Helps out this way. Over time, you can actually help set up your child or your grandchild for school later on. And the one thing that's no secret is college is expensive. So when you're looking at these schools, even the secondary trade schools now are pretty expensive. So it's similar to Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks. You invest the after-tax contributions, money from your bank account, and then you're using that money to pay the tuition. You can use it for books, you can use it for computers, pretty much anything for the school, room and board. It just has to, I usually tell people, look, you have the custodian, which right now it's Fidelity that is holding the 529s for the state of Connecticut. You have the custodian, they can just write the check directly to the school. If you pay it, you just have to keep track of it. So let's say you paid the school, then you paid yourself back. You have to make sure you keep track of that piece of it. But I always, when I'm looking at it, the worry again, we're going to go back to that. And I think I've got it in this next slide here, has always been that, let's say you created this plan for one child, and then that child didn't go to school or only went to school for a certain amount of time and didn't use up all of that 529. The worry was always, okay, well, what happens? What really happens is if you were to take all the money and just take it out of that account, you're taxed on the gain piece of it. There's actually a 10% penalty on the gain too, because it's not going towards school. You're not penalized on your principal that you put in. So one thing to note, but there are a few strategies there where what you can do is actually, instead of taking all the money out, you can actually transfer it to another beneficiary, so another child or even yourself, and use it to pay for school. So pretty much anyone that's going back to school, you can pretty much transfer this account to. And let's say you have two grandchildren, and the first one doesn't go and use up their portion that you've actually saved for them. Maybe it all goes towards the second grandchild, and you do a little something different for the first one. So a little bit of flexibility. One thing I would point out, in the state of Connecticut, an incentive to put money into these plans is there's a tax incentive. So you put money in, let's say, and it's actually up to $10,000 per year. Then you receive a credit back on your Connecticut tax return. I did this with my kids. What I did was I actually saved some money in the 529, and for flexibility, we actually saved some money in an after-tax account too. And every year when they're in college, we were putting money into this 529 even when they were in college, but it was money I was taking from the after-tax account. Reason why is what it did was it helped us on our tax return. That $10,000 in equaled about a $600 credit. So helps on the return. Works for grandparents too. So if you're setting up things for kids, grandkids, you're always looking for any angle where you're helping them, but also the fact that if you're doing this, is there some incentive that you get back for you too? Meaning, like the 529, it actually ends up helping both, helps the grandchild and actually helps the person, let's say the grandparent, put money into that account. Again, like I said, there's one more thing they added in. It's actually it's $35,000. It's a lifetime rollover to a Roth. So let's say that child does not use up that Roth account, or not the Roth account, does not use up that 529 account, up to $35,000 of it can actually be rolled into a Roth account. Just another way of making it a little bit more flexible. The idea of the plan, and I'll stress it, is really to get, for the college piece of it, secondary education, trade schools. So that's why they're a little limited on your options of what to do with the money after, or if it's not all used up or not used at all. So how we can help. Any questions on these chat accounts, just feel free to call us 860-650-3005. If there's any planning. So let's say you're not sure if you want to put money into a 529, or you're worried about putting too much in there and you're in it feeling it might affect your retirement. What we've done in the past, we just run a retirement checkup. So for you, we run the checkup, and while we're running the checkup, in there we run a projection where you're putting money into a 529. So we're taking it away from your retirement to give to, let's say, a grandchild, and then showing you the effect from there. Now, if you're someone that saved a lot, and you have to start knocking down accounts because there's going to be a big overage later on in life. So you can actually use the 529 almost as another estate planning tool. You're moving money along to your family members so that they can use it in the future. So anything else, just feel free to call us. Thanks for watching this month's Tumolo Talk.